left and right, buzz like crazy. Everybody's trying to stimulate it. Spiders in the mirror and films can't be right. Back to the scene of a Friday night. To a place collision still frozen time. Spill a drink and skip it in the sound of our first time. And why did you argue? Like dreaming of those eyes, the best part of my life. And when we make it feel baby, I wouldn't make a sound. Clock won't turn around.
Is Brandon Groce. And we are the Game Changers. Designers, creatives alike. We are in a world that runs on value. Our next designs will be the shiniest. Our next animation will be the most buttery. Ladies and gentlemen, Game Changers, let the games begin. What is going on, guys? It is your boy Brandon Groce. We are back here yet again, and we have some very interesting things to talk about. If you guys didn't already see by the title, we're talking about Boston Dynamics, robots, AI, and of course, aliens. And this will all make sense. This is all in the news. This isn't me bringing this up. And we'll get into that in just a second, but I want to say hello to each and every one of you before we get into this, before we get into the office. And I just want to say my hellos. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm super excited. We have Ali, we have Shathan, we have Ibrahim, we have Sarah, we have Ali. What's going on? We have Samantha. What's going on, guys? Mana, excuse me. There's so many names, I'm like smashing them together. Golden Rose, Henry, Neil. I'm glad to have you guys, my friends. How are you guys doing today in the chat? Let me know. How are you guys doing? What are you excited about today? Alright, with that said, it's actually really weird to have my earbud in this ear that doesn't fall out too much, rather than this ear where it falls out all the time. Mona says, happy to watch, cheerful, positive, and visionary. Love it. She said that. Mona says that's a new one. It definitely was. I was just trying to get all the names, and I was just like, that's not compute. Alright. But let's do this. First off, let's hop into the office really quick. Let's get into these. This is going to be a very quick segment, and I want to get into these topics as quickly as possible and to see what you guys think. So I'll see you guys in the office in just a bit. All right, guys, we are at the office. Ooh, I almost tripped. I was like, oh no. I'll see you in the office. All right, so what I think is really interesting about today is that I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. I would love to know in the chat. Have you guys seen anything about aliens, about this rock called I can't even say the name. Moru. We'll get to it anyway, but I would love to know, have you guys seen this stuff about Boston Dynamics and their dancing robots? Have you guys seen this in the chat? Yasser says, love from Dubai. Miguel, what's going on? Oh, like Mona Lisa. My bad. There we go. That's proper. All right, there we go. Now I got it. Thank you, Mona. Have you guys heard about this? Golden says, excited for some bright and sunshine in the DMV today. I am as well. Let me get a couple of sips of more of my coffee. I sat down with you guys. Grossbot rushed me into the car, and I didn't get to do my morning routine. So let me just get in here. And while I'm doing this, I would love to know if you guys have seen anything about Boston Dynamics. If not, this is awesome. You guys are going to see something really cool today. I can't play the music because copyright, but you guys are going to see something a little crazy. It's not CG at all. So I'm going to read the comments while I'm sipping my coffee. Oh no, Samantha, be right back. Taking my pet to the vet. Well, be safe. I hope that your pet is A-okay, but return safely. All right, well, let's check this out. We're not going to dilly-dally. A couple of you guys know that. Oh, well, some of you guys, Davis says you have not. This is going to be very interesting. And for someone who said it, Allie, they just got acquired. Yeah, they keep switching hands. It's really weird. We're going to talk about all of those things. So let's check this out. If I can press the button. Hey, what's going on, Sam T? What's happening? Let's get it. Let's get it indeed. All right. So first off, let me check this out. Hold on. Let me. Okay, just wanted to check everything. So first off, Boston Dynamics dancing robots or guys, my mouth. I'm like not enough coffee yet. Boston Dynamics robots dance to convince us that they're friendly. This is a very interesting title. Whoever wrote this was definitely like, didn't know how to feel about the dancing robots. But we'll watch them. Hey, what's going on, Mattia? Let's see. Get the notifications whenever Brandon goes live. Oh, Henry, thank you so much. Mallory, what's going on? So just to get into this, if you guys are not familiar, there was a whole, I don't know if we call it an ad campaign, but Boston Dynamics put out a music video where their robots were dancing. We're not going to play the music, but I'm just going to play this for you guys just very quick. But it's to the song Do You Love Me? I think we can, I'll probably get dinged since we're on YouTube. So I'm not going to go ahead and play it. But basically, let me skip halfway through, because the beginning is okay, but then when they start bringing in like different robots, I put all the links to this in the right hand side of Behance. I'll also put it in the chat so you guys can check this out. Ibrahim says music muted, but not in my head. I watched that video a couple times. Miguel says I think these things are gonna. Well, we'll see. These might actually help, but the way that I found this is that Elon Musk tweeted, "This is not CGI," and I thought it was crazy. They're synchronized dancing. You have this chicken thing that usually helps packaging, and they're all synchronized to this song. I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can check it out while we're going through the article. But I just wanted to show you guys the dexterity of this. And this is not, guys, this is about to be 2021 takeover of the robots. I wish I could share the music, but see, they're doing the Cabbage Patch better than I. And this one is busting it down. It's like pop, pop. But yeah, I think this is really interesting. I would love to know how many of you in the chat have already seen this. Put one in the chat. Because I just thought this was really interesting. Just how it's for almost a full-bodied things, how accurate and they're capable of moving to this music. So, all right, this is the article that we're taking a look at. I'm gonna pop this into the chat so you guys can check this out. But let's take a look at what's being said here. Boston Dynamics robots have attracted a mix of amazement and terror for their diverse range of feats. The bots have already sniffed out bombs, patrolled oil rigs, monitored COVID patients, done parkour, and occasionally fallen over. But the company's latest videos shows that it can also cut up a rug. Obviously this is what was shown is more than just cutting up a rug. Well, I guess that means they can dance. I guess that was the saying. Ibrahim says the leg twist is pretty accurate though. Hey, what's going on, Jonathan? Jasmine, good morning. How you doing? We are talking about robots, AI, and aliens for those of you guys who just joined. The Massachusetts-based firm has released a video of its own creation throwing shapes. Although, curiously, not the robot, to the Motown classic Do You Love Me. The whole gang has hit the dance floor. There's a humanoid Atlas shaking its stuff like a past his prime John Travolta in an ill-advised Pulp Fiction reboot. All right, whoever wrote this is like way back, whatever. But you know what I think is really interesting? I want to ask you guys, are you guys more scared of the possibility of the future in tech when it comes to robots and AI in that perspective and getting help? Do you think it's a positive thing, or do you think it is a detrimental thing? I would love to know in the chat. Put 1 if you think it's positive, 2 if you're like, seems a little sketchy. Let's see. Boston Dynamics is yet to reveal how the robots learned to boogie. The MIT spinoff, which was recently scooped up by the Korean car maker Hyundai. This is another thing that we will be talking about because I think this is interesting. Ali mentioned in the chat earlier that Boston Dynamics has changed a couple hands throughout over the years. At one point they were with Google. At another point I think they were with I think it's in the article, but they changed hands. They were in a bank's hands at some point. And then, yeah, SoftBank. SoftBank bought them, and then finally Hyundai bought them, which is really interesting because they're a car company as well as they do a lot more than that, and we're going to get into that, which is really interesting. They do a lot of actual, like, robotic suits, which is cool. Henry says 1.5, I'm in the middle. Jasmine says 1, I'm for it. Ali, I'm for it. I'm down for it too. Wait, Matthias says, I will not move from here until this video is classified as CGI effect. But it's not CGI. Jasmine said, I love jumping in and seeing you in the chat. It's just like, hey, there's my friend. Yes, we are all friends here. Golden says, there have been arguments on both sides, even, got you. Personally, I see it as something that can be helpful or harmful. It just depends on how the tech is used. Exactly. Ali says humans will definitely be more dangerous. There's a lot of interesting things there. But let's hop into this, because I think this is where, like, robots are cool, but then when you start pulling this sort of tech possibly into other companies that could utilize it a little bit different. So, for example, Hyundai just bought Boston Dynamics for nearly $1 billion, and they're not building a walking car, but they may be. Let's just go through this documentation. So I think at some point, and we'll get into when we get into the document, there was let me just scroll down here. I think this is it. The reason why this entire article is called and they're building a walking car is because there was a concept back at CES when Hyundai this was a concept. I thought it was really weird. I was like, why would you do this? It looks like they're preparing to sell this to Elon Musk. I was like, this is straight out of a video game. I'm checking out what Sarah is saying. There's a cool VFX company on YouTube. You created a CGI version of the Boston Dynamics robots. I believe they're called, whatchamacallit? I know the one that you're talking about. Corridor Digital. Miguel says it's very ugly. I agree. But let's take a look at this. Or Mallory says, I think these robots will do more for us than we need to remember. And we need to remember that it's not like they'll take over humans. I agree with you. I think that's probably, in my opinion, what I believe. I think they're going to do a lot more good than we think. But let's go through this because I think this is really interesting, and I actually didn't know this. Hyundai does more than just cars. Like, besides this weird concept, let's get into the real juice. So at the start of last December, reports surfaced that Korea car makers Hyundai was in the talks to buy Boston Dynamics, which they have now, the company that makes those dog robots that will probably lead the charge when the machines rise up. Now, various reports confirm that a deal has been reached and will see Hyundai take over Boston Dynamics from its current owners, Japanese conglomerate SoftBank, for $921 million, basically $1 billion. As at Gizmodo reports, this is the third time in the 7 years that unprofitable Boston Dynamics has changed hands, which is really interesting. I would love to go into the unprofitable portion because I'm just like, how does that happen? Are there different investors? I would love to know, like, how is Boston Dynamics actually sustaining and doing this really cool tech that I think could really benefit a lot of different companies such as Hyundai. Let's see. The company spun off from a research unit at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in the 1990s and operated on its own until Google bought it in 2013. In 2017, SoftBank stepped up and took it off the Big G's hands. And now, under SoftBank, Boston Dynamics began selling its Boston Dynamics began selling its robotic quadrupled to select organizations and individuals so it could gather more data and test it in more diverse range of scenarios. Interesting. So it could basically not just develop the tech, but partner with other companies to get data to better its technology, or really the AI, or however they're training these things to dance. At this point, it's largely impossible to say what Hyundai wants to do with Boston Dynamics. There are a few overlaps between the companies that could lead to product refinements on both ends. As a road show on CNET points out, Boston Dynamics doesn't just make four-legged harbingers of apocalypse. It also makes industrial robots that are designed to use in warehouses. And that's when it was, showcasing. I call this the chicken. I don't know what to call it, but it looks like a chicken from Boston Dynamics that uses suction cups to organize boxes. I'm sure it's a lot more complex than that, but it just looks like a chicken. So that's all good. All right. Remember Handle, the two-wheeled box mover that moves with the same concerning elegance as a armless velociraptor? Maybe Hyundai wants to put things to work on the production lines of its cars. Now, there was another part where I saw this. It was very interesting. It makes wearable robots. I didn't know this about Hyundai. Hey, thank you, Henry, for sharing out all those podcast links. Thank you so much. So I didn't know this. Hyundai makes like bodysuits. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit. So develop the wearable robot with the world's highest walking performance. So this is kind of, I'm assuming, the first ever robot to apply ergonomic polycentric joints. So this could be used potentially maybe for people who have trouble walking, optimized for impediments control or impedance. Y'all know how I am with like the words. I'm sure that means something to like, if you don't have control, you now have control. All right. Which supports high-speed walking and climbing up and down stairs. So they're basically supports. Walking support or walking performance minimize the inertia in the legs of the robots. Okay. Heavy load handling full body wearable robot. This was made in 2014. Can handle up to 80 kg using a hydraulic driving mechanism on both arms. Regardless, that's like a mecha suit. This is like stuff in video games. This is crazy. Handled. Okay, let's see. Arm synchronization, movement controls. So I've seen this a lot in other parts of the internet, but I didn't know as Hyundai. Or Hyundai, however you say it. But a lot of it is like support. So I think this could really help with those who I don't know. I don't know how this is what we have to dig into, but I'm really curious. Like, I would love to see how this sort of evolves with Boston Dynamics tech being brought into Hyundai. Let's see what you guys are saying. Golden says MP dance. Stop. Y'all are so mean to me, man. Ibrahim says more like an exoskeleton. Yes, reminds me of the movie Elysium. That's exactly what I was thinking, Ali. Shaba says, yeah, all right. CGs. That's Rhodey's equipment from Iron Man. Yep. Davis says Pacific Rim. Golden says tech and sci-fi are highly linked. For real. I'm taking a look at some of you guys' comments. Hold on. Just wait when Isaac... Man, y'all putting some big names in here. I can't even read this. Isaac's book, iRobot Becomes Reality. Transformers. So it's pretty interesting stuff. This was, Boston Dynamics is cool, and like the walking car is a little weird, but I think if we're talking wearables and how I've seen some of this stuff from a medical perspective, like help people who maybe don't have limbs, who maybe don't have the ability to walk as well, that type of support, from my mind, I'm thinking that's the next step and the easiest way to kind of parallel things, where we might be seeing some interesting stuff. So, interesting stuff to look at there. Just wanted to bring you guys attention to it. Let's see what else comes from Hyundai and Boston Dynamics. We'll see where that goes in the next couple years. Now, what I really want to move into is this next thing. How many of you guys have looked at or even heard of this other stuff called, scientists say mysterious, and y'all gonna kill me on this word, Oumuamua. Hold on, we gonna sound it out. Oumuamua object could be an alien spacecraft. It looks like a really long, strenuous turd. Harvard researchers raised the possibilities that it's a probe sent from extraterrestrials. Ooh. Miguel says, what will the websites look like in the future of these machines? I think it looks like an introduction to Brandon. I think it looks like an introduction. We'll see. I have no idea. Excellence. Yes, Hyundai did acquire Boston Dynamics. And yes, excellence, Isaac Asimov. I believe that's the author of iRobot. I have no idea. All right, hold on. All right, so maybe it's an alien spacecraft. Scientists have been puzzling over Oumuamua ever since the mysterious space object was observed. And you guys have the link to this. I'll put this in the chat because I know some of you guys on YouTube don't have. I didn't send this. It is, guys. Look at, for those of you guys who are on the podcast, you guys aren't going to be able to see it. But if you look it up, Oumuamua looks long. Yes, I don't know the design ramifications if the extraterrestrials did decide to make such a thing, but let's go with it. Let's see what these Harvard scientists have to say. Ever since the mysterious space object was observed tumbling past the sun in late 2017, given its high speed and its unusual trajectory, the reddish, what'd I tell y'all? The reddish stadium-sized, whatever it is, had clearly come from outside our solar system, but its flattened, elongated shape and the way it's accelerated on its way through the solar system set it apart from conventional asteroids and comets. Now, a pair of Harvard researchers are raising the possibility that Oumuamua is an alien spacecraft. Let's see what they got. As they say in a paper to be published on November 12th in the Astrophysical Journal Letters, the object may be a fully operational probe sent internationally to Earth vicinity by alien civilization. Interesting. The researchers aren't claiming outright that the aliens sent Oumuamua, but after a careful mathematical analysis of the interstellar object sped up, as it shot past the sun, they say Oumuamua could be a spacecraft pushed through space by a light falling on its surface, or they put it in the paper a light sail of artificial origin. Interesting stuff. What do you guys have you guys heard about this? You guys are still talking about strenuous turds. Excellence says podcast. Yeah, man. Hey, you not been on the podcast? We're starting to back up again, my man. What's we call it? Ibrahim says it looks the spaceship, the alien ship, looks like it's from the movie Arrival. It very well could have been. Maybe the aliens shipped out, took a vacation to Earth, saw the movie, and was like, "Yo, it's time to make a turd." Turd ship. Okay, let's see. Who would have sent such a spacecraft our way, and why? Is it possible to guess the purpose behind a Mau without more data? Avi Loeb, chairman of Harvard Astronomy Department and a co-author of the paper, told NBC News in an email. If a Mau is a light sail, he added, one possibility is that it was floating in interstellar space when our solar system ran into it like a ship bumping into a buoy on the surface of the ocean. I have no idea what that means, but just to explain the solar sail or whatever they're talking about, the light sail. So I don't know this deeply, but one of the things that I guess scientists are kind of titillating with on how to travel in space are light sails. So this is an actual picture of what they think the material of this Mau is. That is just a huge light sail to somehow propel or move some other object that might be alien. Earthlings have launched similar solar-powered light sails of their own, and Loeb is an advisor to Breakthrough Starshot, an initiative that plans to send a fleet of tiny laser-powered light sail craft to the nearest star system. But the technology is in its infancy, at least here on Earth. Loeb and his collaborators, y'all, they just keep hitting me with names. I was reading this yesterday, and I was like, they doing me wrong. Shmuel Bailey. I think that's the name. A postdoctoral fellow at the Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics acknowledged that the alien spacecraft scenario is an exotic one. And perhaps not surprisingly, other space scientists have strong doubts about it. It's certainly ingenuous to show that an object the size of a Mau might be sent by aliens to another star system with nothing but a solar sail for power. Seth Shoak, a senior astronomer at the SETI Institute in the Mountain View, California, said in an email, but one should not blindly accept its clever hypothesis when there's a mundane and these words, man, can we just say English? When there's also a mundane explanation for Mau, namely that it is a comet or asteroid from afar. Corinne, an astronomer at the Max Institute for Astronomy in Heidelberg, Germany, voiced similar objections in Science. He said in an email, "We must ask ourselves, where is the evidence? Not where is the lack of evidence, so that I can fit in any hypothesis that I like." All right, end cap. There we go. I'm about to look at the comments. You guys about to burn me on every word that I attempted to say. Okay, let's check it. Let me see. I'm scrolling up. Brennan is, this is a very deep conversation you're having at 10 a.m. on a Thursday. Mallory is like, what are we doing? Yes. This is interesting stuff, guys. Let me scroll back up. Kyle Max says, podcast streaming on Thursdays. How long have I been away? Very long, Kyle. No, today's the first day. So this is the first episode that's going to be back on the podcast, and we're going to be doing it from now on. It might move to Friday, but I wanted to test out Thursday today. Sarah says, I haven't heard about it. There was an article not too long ago about the U.S. Navy pilots seeing UFO, and the Pentagon released 3 videos. Yeah, see, they've been here, guys. They've been here. I want to believe. Let's see, what else? Kara says, wow, I love this. Sci-fi is real. Ali says, I hope the aliens provide free Wi-Fi. I'm sure that they got Wi-Fi in their brains. Who knows? Valentino says, so you're not doing art but reading. I am fine with that. Reading about aliens. Mac Tyler says, how's everybody doing? I'm going to go back to my screen here just so you guys aren't just watching that. Valentino says, good but bad. No, Valentino, why are you feeling the badness? Golden, you know I can't spell. Chara said, or Kara or Chara, I don't know. I apologize. Says that the alien invasion is better than some things. Let's see. I'm working on a video. All right, so you guys are working in the wrong. Hold on. Let me catch up. Let me catch up to the chat. Brandon, are you going to virtual CES next week? I actually didn't know CES was next week. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I don't know, maybe. If they have coffee like Kyle says. But guys, listen, I think this is really interesting stuff. Like I said, if you guys are on Behance, all of the links are over to the right. I would love to know if you guys dug this. Do not forget to hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. This is the end of the segment. I just really think that this stuff is interesting. And this is the stuff that I'm looking at as we move towards the future. I'm totally a futurist. But I'd love to know, like, if you guys are part of the Game Changers crew, you guys are part of our Discord, links down below. Come join us. We are a group of very close to 700 creatives from all over the world that are in graphic design, UI, UX, futurists who are very interested in topics like this, so we can talk about it, figure out where we need to maneuver, what skills we need to learn as we move through this very progressive and fast-moving world. So Valentino says, wait, do you have a green screen? Nah, man, this is my office. I drove to work, and this is where we're at. But guys, I want to thank you guys for coming out today. That was it. That's all I came in the office to do, my friends. Talk about Boston Dynamics, get into what is happening in the world with Hyundai and Boston Dynamics, and talk about aliens. We will be coming to do this every Thursday, if not move to Friday. We might be shifting some things around, but we're in the midst of trying this out to jumpstart our podcast. Back up again, Design Huddle with my partner, Ryan Warner. He's the global product partner of Google. And just to give you guys who are here, a little bit of some context. And if you're interested in following this, just in case if you came a little bit late, all is good. Or you can just rewatch this. It's on Apple Podcasts. It is on, let me just get the Spotify one. And for those of you guys who are on the podcast, like hearing my fingers click, I am so sorry I don't have visuals right now. We will work on the fluidity of this. All right, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your boy Brandon Groce is out. This is a quick 30, 40-ish minute segment. I'm always just trying to bring very interesting topics to you guys, and I want to titillate your minds. So with that, I'm going to head out. Grossbot, can you pull me out around to the car, my friend? All right, cool. All right, guys, I'll see you in my car in just a bit. Oh no, we weren't ready for the tunnel. Samantha says, I'm back. I hope I didn't miss much. Samantha, you missed everything. You missed everything. Thursdays are going to be a quick segment, 30 minutes tops, 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, somewhere in there. But it's all about discussions, what's happening in the world. We talked about Boston Dynamics and aliens. So you missed a lot, but it's okay. You can rewatch this. And by the end of the week, this will be up. Actually, we're going to see if we can get it up today. We're going to upload this to our podcast, Design Huddle, and that way you guys can listen to it forever. Henry is asking, how do you make this background? There's no background. This is where I live. But whatchamacallit? I want to thank you guys, Samantha, Davis. I'm still trying to figure out if it's Chara or Kara. Thank you so much. Golden Rose. And everybody else. Valentino, Ibrahim, Henry, Kyle, Mallory. Thank you guys for coming. I know there's so many more. Allie, Mac Tyler, Sarah. I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys on the next one. And I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. EST, going over or taking our design that we did on Tuesday and bringing it into Editor X to make a beautiful and delicious website, all right? Nintendo related, all right? All right, guys, I am out. Your boy, Brandon Groce, your favorite designer, hype beast, and now news bringer. Out. I'll see you guys in the next one. You want to be one of the hottest creative designers in the world. You want to build your talent, your skills through hard work, and more importantly, surround yourself with a team of individuals who are striving towards greatness with you. And yet you sit there and you ask yourself internally, Brandon, does a place like this exist? And my answer to you would be, of course, motherfucker, that's exactly what we are doing in our Discord. We are the Game Changer. We are a group of designers, artists, creatives that want to take our skill sets, talents, and dreams to the next level. We come together to give feedback on each other's work, give resources, and laugh, a lot of it, and help push each other to be our best selves. If you're interested in becoming the next best you and quite possibly yourself while chatting with many friends, join your new design family today. See you there.